Hey there, and I want to welcome you to the Rise of the 1% podcast, where you're going to discover the strategies, tools, and insights to get to the top 1% of your industry. And today, this is G.Bass signing on alongside my partner, James J.C. Williams.
Yes, sir. We in the building.
We here. And so today, we're going to talk a little bit about some goal setting, talk a little bit about the mindset as well that you want to have to really go out and accomplish your goals this year in 2020 and beyond.
Right, and I believe that this is the perfect time to even go into it, because I know a lot of times that everyone starts talking about the goal setting part before the year comes in.
Right.
And then everybody has these New Year's resolutions. Mm-hmm. And when they hit these New Year's resolutions, February comes around, and then now you lose focus.
Exactly.
March come around, you get into the second quarter, everything that you just started at the beginning of the year is now all obsolete.
Right.
So to hit on these things and just to get people, just to give them that energy and give them that focus moving forward, I think is very key.
Exactly.
Moving forward.
Exactly. And me personally, I've never been big on New Year's resolutions. I believe in making decisions, whether that's at the beginning of the year, the middle of the year, or the end of the year. When you make that conscious decision that you're ready to set out for some type of transformation in your life or leveling up, what have you, and you go after that.
Right. And that same thing
for you.
Same thing for me, because no matter if it's my fitness goals or any type of goals that I set, I just make the mind up to do it.
Exactly.
It just always falls in place. I already have momentum going into the new year.
Right.
Now I will say this, when the new year does come in, I do feel inside, that's just me personally, I be a little bit more motivated, but it's like I'm already in that momentum, I'm already in action, doing the things. It's a lifestyle.
Right.
So it's like whatever it is that you're, looking to pursue or achieve, it's like you just gotta make up the mind and just go after it right now. Your energy has to be there. Like, do not let it settle. So once you have ideals and once you have the mindset to do something, take action immediately.
Exactly. Implementation is key.
Success loves speed.
Right.
So what I want to share with you guys today, I do want to give you some key points that I feel that you could use going into the rest of the year. Just some things that you can take with you and just share it in your or apply it in your everyday life. And what I did was come up with 7 keys, like 7 key principles in goal setting, which really it comes down to your self-discipline.
Right.
When it all comes down to it, it's all about yourself. It's all about your discipline of yourself, and also how you view yourself.
Right.
All right. So one of the first keys that's into self-discipline is having a purpose. Like, you have to identify your purpose.
Right.
And one of the things that I was reading, Dean Graciosi book,
The Millionaire Success Habits.
The Millionaire Success Habits. And one part in that book that really stood out to me, because I actually was doing the exercises in that book, and he was telling me about the 7 levels deep. And what the 7 levels deep goes is, like, we could say that we want to be whatever it is. Oh, I want to be a multimillionaire. Why do you want to be a multimillionaire? Then you give that reason why you want to be a multimillionaire. Then once you give that reason, what's the reason for that?
Right.
And you keep going 7 levels deep.
Exactly.
And I know for me personally, when I did when I did my own personal goals, I really got emotional about it when I got to the real reason why. And then when you think about that real purpose, it's like that's what wakes you up every day. That's what makes you keep going. Right.
And I know they say why stands for what hurts you the most, or having a why that makes you cry. Some people believe that's cliche, but at the end of the day, it's actually true.
Right.
Once you actually identify what hurts you the most, or identifying that powerful reason why, or those powerful reasons why you're doing what you're doing, then that's when you know you definitely have figured out what your purpose is and what you're really setting out for.
Right. And I know, hey, we all human.
Right.
And I really get upset when I don't hit certain goals.
Me too, at times.
Yeah. And even last year I had my sights on certain things and I didn't hit them. And You know, I do have to work on my mindset as well and keep motivated, because when I don't hear them, I be upset. I be like, hey, I don't even want to be dealing with nobody. I'm like, hey, I'm about to isolate myself. But I know this is not the right, proper way to deal with things and, you know, just moving forward. But like I said, we are human, and I get to those points, but it really hurts, like when you don't accomplish those things. So that, you know, so one of the second keys to self-discipline is actually having role models. And see, once you identify that purpose, now you need to actually identify people that's actually living that life.
Right.
And then that can help when those times get, you know, when the times get hard, or the times when you lose focus, you got role models that you can reach out to, mentors that you can reach out to, somebody who could probably grab you by the wing and be able to, you know, give you the right type of lessons.
Yeah, mentors are those that see more value typically in you than you see in yourself. And like you said, I mean, just identifying whoever those people may be. It may be people that you can touch, and it sometimes may not even be people that you can touch. I mean, sometimes it's people within books.
Yeah.
It might be somebody's course that you go through, or it may be somebody's YouTube content that you may consume, a podcast that you may listen to. You may not necessarily be actually talking to them, but at the same time, by you consuming their content and learning from them and finding out how they came over their different obstacles and challenges and things of that nature and went out and accomplished their goals, it could keep you inspired along the way. But yes, if you definitely got to identify at least 3 mentors as well that you actually can be personally mentored by, you know, that's a great thing.
Now, that's what I want to ask you right there, G, is that how can you actually find 3 personal mentors? Like, what would be the way to approach them?
Yeah. So a lot of times when it comes to actually finding different mentors, it's not so much about approaching them in terms of asking what they can do for you. It's a lot of times approaching them in terms of what type of value they can provide to them, if that makes sense. So I'm going to give you an example. So when I was in the entertainment business, for instance, I actually wanted to learn from who was the best in that particular space here in Atlanta at that time in terms of club promotions. And so at that time, my buddy Easy was one of the guys throwing some of the biggest parties here in Atlanta. And so what I did was I hunted him down. I found him at one of the clubs here in Atlanta, and I had a conversation with him in the club, introducing myself. He already knew who I was. He had heard about me. But at the end of the day, though, what ended up happening was, instead of me coming to him like, you know, how can I make money with you, or can you mentor me, I said, I'd like to help you on some of your parties. You see what I'm saying? In terms of getting people out to your events, right? And you don't even have to pay me. I do it for free.
Right.
And over time, if you see that I'm bringing some type of value to what you're doing, then we maybe could potentially talk business, but I just want to show you what I can do, if that makes sense. So when it came to actually getting him as my mentor in the entertainment business, I came with helping him first with what he was doing at that particular time, and then it transformed into a business relationship and a mentorship relationship. So it's not all the time about just, you know, reaching out to people all the time, asking them what they can necessarily do for you. It's about, okay, what type of value that I can provide to them, and in terms, they may be open to giving me some type of mentorship. Now, in terms of coaching, yeah, you have different people out there in different spaces that's different experts, and yes, you can find them online, and they have programs that you can invest into and stuff like that, which is, I've done that, tens of thousands of dollars into coaching programs. But I'm talking about an actual mentor, though, like a hands-on mentor. The best way I believe it is finding someone within that space that has some of the same type of core values as you, and they're getting the results that you're seeking out for in your particular lifestyle, and reach out to them and see how you maybe can provide some value to them. Now, some of them may say they don't need your help, and they may still be open to mentoring you, but still offer. You see what I'm saying? So that's some of my advice.
Okay. So let me ask you this, all right? Now, I wonder, because when we start getting into more of a wealthy knowledge and mindset, you know, I had to give a salute to you because you brought me in, all right? Me growing up, even like in my 20s, and even when I was getting in my upper 20s or whatnot, I was not thinking it on a certain type of level, all right? When you came, you know, me and you go all the way back to 8th grade.
Right.
And I knew you back from the party promotion days, but when I seen you dressed in these suits,
yeah,
standing in front of this big old house giving speeches, I was like, G? G doing it? What you,
Yeah.
you know? So what,
Yeah.
you know? So I was really intrigued, and then you told me what you had going on.
Right.
You know, I wanted something different in my life
At that time, right.
At that time, and moving forward, it was like then I just started really following your footsteps. So I guess it would be like you was a mentor to me, because see, the thing is that I look at it like this. Yeah, I'm happy that you brought me into the space, because now I watch YouTube videos, listen to podcasts every day on a lot of different individuals that I can get motivated from, I can relate to,
Right.
that has got over the threshold and got to certain levels in their life.
Right.
But also too, it's so important that not only that we stay in that environment, like watching the videos, doing the podcast, reading the books. That's so key too, because everybody has a book. We have a book.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's why I was saying, like, in terms of mentors, some of my mentors I've never met before. They
Right.
come from books.
Right.
Some of them are living, some of them are deceased.
Yeah.
Right. But I'm still learning from them to this day. So a mentor all the time doesn't have to be someone you're speaking to on the phone or getting up with. They could come from books, just like what you're saying.
Right. But I believe too that it's just very important to actually have someone that you can actually reach out to,
Yeah.
or you can talk to.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That's definitely key.
It's definitely key.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know, so, salute to you. Salute that I have you in my corner. Even to this day. Even to this day, we still learning from each other.
Right.
And that's what that's something I very, I appreciate. So another thing I wanted to ask is, when do you feel like it's a time to let go of a coach or a mentor? Like, do you feel like there's any time that you could maybe outgrow, or it's a time to let go?
Oh yeah, definitely. I definitely believe it's a time where you can outgrow certain type of mentorship, and not necessarily saying that they're a bad person or anything like that. It just may be you're looking to get to another level, whether that's spiritual, whether that's in your relationships, whether that's physical, whether that's financial and growing a business. It might just be that you're looking to go to another level that they may not necessarily have accomplished as of yet in their own life. And it may be time for you to move on. And I've had situations like that where I've had to move on. Not saying those particular mentors or coaches are bad people, not saying they're not successful. It's just that it's another level that I'm looking to get to that they have not necessarily got to at that time. And so I go and seek out someone that is at that particular level. And once again, share the same type of core values as me too. Because it's not necessarily just about success and stuff like that. We have to share some of the same type of values when it comes to life as a whole. So I go out and seek people like that. So that's what I would say in terms of that. So yes, you can outgrow certain coaches and mentors over time.
Hey, mindset of the 1%. Because
Absolutely.
you continue growing. You continue progressing.
Exactly.
Whatever person or mentors is in your life at that point of time, that's just for that time.
Right.
That season. But you got to continue to grow. That's just like the 1%. Like, we didn't hit on this on the first. This is our second podcast, and we didn't hit on this on the first podcast about. We talked about what is the 1% when we were talking about the passion and the purpose that people want to have in doing it to the fullest. All right. But then also too, it's an economic 1%.
Right.
All right. Just like you have. I had to look this up. I don't know what the exact number is for the 1% in America, but we know that being in the 1% of household income base that people make per year, it was in the range of about 400,000.
Yeah, it's like 422,000.
Okay,
range.
yeah,
Right.
about 422,000.
Right.
But that's in the America household.
Right. U.S.
That's just U.S. Right. It's still other levels of the 1%.
Right.
When you're talking about people that's making multi-millions, all right, that's a 1% to that.
Right.
So it's all depends on who you comparing yourself to.
Exactly.
So, once again, back to those keys, that is one of the key things is finding a role model.
Exactly.
All right. So number 3 is actually having the belief and the vision to succeed. We all know that you gotta you gotta see it before anything. If you lack of vision, you will perish.
Right.
So we all know that the vision has to be there. You have to believe in yourself. And going to the new year, if you are this type of individual that doing New Year's resolution, or you having a mindset, or that you want to change and you want to do something different, you want to think about how to reinvent yourself. All right. I think it's always key about reinventing yourself.
Right.
All right. Always same thing we talking about here is progressing. So reinventing yourself is about how you see yourself.
Right.
All right. One of the great books that you even recommended to me, and I dove into it, was Psycho-Cybernetics.
Right.
And
Dr. Maswell Moss.
you're right.
Right.
And that book was awesome because it all, it builds your confidence on the way you see yourself. If you I like to go out and do certain things, celebrate accomplishments and things like that, because it motivates me into that. Even also just keep going, because it's like, okay, let's celebrate a little bit. Let's celebrate the wins.
Right.
Then also just seeing yourself get to another level, or just making that first step. When you make that first step in life, that's a confidence builder.
Right.
So it's like, I can do it.
Right.
So you having that belief, and your belief gets stronger, because we all know lack of belief is just then it's gonna start to fall.
Right.
So if you got a product, service out there, if you don't believe in what you're doing, how you expect someone else to believe in it?
Right. Yep. And faith is basically taking that first step without seeing the whole staircase.
Right.
That's what faith and that's what belief is.
Right.
You have to believe. I know it may sound cliche, but this is true to its core. I'm a personal testimony of it as well. I'm pretty sure James is on a lot of different aspects of his life as well. Is you definitely have to believe in terms of your vision and things you're looking to accomplish before you actually see it in its physical form in your life.
Right. And just like you said, and I know anyone who's in this space and you just don't know, maybe people have not heard this, but it's cliche that we saying these things, but a lot of times you gotta go back to the foundation.
Right.
Sometimes we lose focus, and we have to go back to whatever the foundation is.
Right.
So,
and I mean, I even know for myself, like some years ago, I remember I was in I guess you could say a dark place at that time in terms of my lifestyle not being where I wanted to be at that particular time. And I remember having these affirmations written down on index cards at that particular time. I'm so happy and grateful, and I was speaking certain things that I wanted to see come into my life over these years, right, coming to fruition. And the thing, what most people don't realize is that when you're doing that, you're programming your subconscious mind. The subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between a truth and a lie. So at the end of the day, I'm lying to myself every morning in terms of these different things that I'm going to accomplish. And by me doing that over time, majority of the things that was on those index cards some years ago, I've accomplished. Majority of them.
yeah.
Right, and I did it for some years, though. I did it for some years, every single morning. I mean, I was in a dark place. I had to move back home with mom. I'm behind on bills, about to file bankruptcy, everything. But every morning in my morning routine, I'm getting up. I'm so happy and grateful for this. I'm so happy and grateful and that. I mean, even me getting my high rise was on those index cards, and I have it now. Right, so it's very powerful in terms of belief, what you just said.
Right.
Belief.
Right.
Before you can see it.
Yeah, that's big. Same thing.
And I don't know if I'm jumping ahead talking about the affirmations, but I just had to throw that in there because that definitely goes along with the belief factor.
That's perfect. Perfect, because I don't know what it is about when you actually speaking it and writing it down.
Writing it down. Write it down and make it plain. That's what my favorite book says.
Right. And this stuff actually happens even at the time when it's all cloudy and you really, it's like your subconscious mind don't know, but you just speaking it. And then next thing you know, you look up a year or two from now, it's like, wow, this actually really happened.
Exactly.
And that would change my philosophy, my psychology just on everything when it comes down to affirmations and writing. Like, I just write all my goals out. Even exercises where it's just like write everything that you want in life.
Right.
Write everything. Don't just keep writing it. Even every day, you keep adding on to it. and you go like even right now, like this one of my books that I got plenty of books that I write a lot of my goals and my plans and things that I want to do in life. But these one of the books that I have. And like right now, like I'm 165, like 165 things, and it's like, you know, it's just like stuff that you just keep going,
right?
Like every day, because you keep going these ideas.
Exactly.
So the thing is, when you get these ideas, now I want to go on to number 4. One of the other fourth key is because once you get those ideas, you're gonna have the energy, you're gonna have the emotion behind it. All right. So now, since you have that emotion, you got that flame inside of you, that's when it's time to really start taking action.
Exactly. Yep.
So that's number 4, is just having a flame inside of you that you don't want to wait. Don't let it die.
Procrastination kills.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Procrastination definitely kills.
Yeah.
All right. So once it comes once you got that idea, you don't know where it's gonna go. Just start taking action on it. Just like us doing this podcast right now. You know, we had this vision.
Right.
All right. Yes, it started off the foundation of interviews, which we're going to have coming up soon.
Exactly.
But we brought the vision. It's like, hey, let's make this thing big. That's not like we may not have all the right proper tools, or we might be the biggest podcast or match up to everybody doing different podcasts. Right. All right. So we may not can match up to people who got all thousands and millions of listeners, but we believe it. So we had to take action on it.
Exactly.
And we're not gonna stop. It's just something that we believe in, and we got the energy. Like I'm excited.
Right.
Like every day, like we talk about it all the time.
Exactly.
Like we got so much material that even from here that we're gonna talk about.
Right.
So it's just a lot that we're gonna bring to you. So that goes on to number 5 though. Mm-hmm. Number 5 is planning. Right, doing right proper planning.
Right.
Yeah. Do you have any like steps on like how you do your planning, or?
When you say planning specifically.
Well, planning is like same thing when you want to sit down and really write out the plan. Like, is it a certain way, like how you write your plan out, or do you reach out, follow a blueprint to someone that is already doing it, or you just research it and just study? Like, what would be like your ways on how you plan?
Well, for me, everything is all based off of strategic type of thinking. I do everything based off of strategy. And yes, most of my strategies come from learning, whether it's coming from learning from other people or just learning from experiences as a whole in terms of, me taking action on different things. That's typically how I come up with different strategic plans to execute on different things. It's either learning from someone else who's already got a blueprint that's already working, right? And I just model off of that. Or at times it's off of me just executing, taking heavy action on certain things. I come up with different ideas to come up with strategic plans around that.
Okay. And which that really goes into my 6th key, which is implementing that plan.
Right.
All right. So that all goes into it. Now the last key, and which I feel like is yes, number 1, having that purpose. That's one of the main important ones, but also too having the persistence and the perseverance.
Yeah.
Key, because having that persistence to keep going. All right, and then having the perseverance when obstacles come your way.
Exactly.
And I believe all that goes back to your vision.
Right.
We understand that things change, life happens. All right. So I believe just being able to see it, be able to hear it, be able to smell what it is that you want in life.
Right.
Even if you never experienced it, that's what role models are for too.
Right, exactly.
So all this stuff plays in a package to hitting your goals.
I agree.
You got to implement all these things. So, because obstacles gonna come, you're gonna have your highs and you're gonna have your lows.
Right.
So I love either one. It don't matter. Like I love my highs and I love my lows.
Yeah, I mean, this is one thing I was sharing with the rest of the Rise of 1% team this week is either a storm is about to hit, you're going through a storm, or you're coming out of one. And that's how life is. So it's always going to be highs and lows. Don't ride the highs too high, don't ride the lows too low.
Right.
Stay right there in the middle and just keep pushing, no matter what.
No matter what.
Got to revert back to the why. So I say part of what keeps me persistent is every single morning I review my goals. That's part of my morning success ritual in the mornings. I review my goals every single morning before I start my day. That's part of the success ritual. I do other things too, but that's part of it. And basically what it does is constantly reminds me of what I'm setting out for. It don't matter if yesterday was a horrible day, somebody got on my nerves yesterday, whatever the case may be, it was just a bad day or whatever. It's a new day. I'm looking at those goals and it's keeping me on track. I got to keep pushing, got to keep moving forward.
Yeah, I know for me, when things get on my nerves or somebody that's made me upset, I just had to take a time out. And for me, I do the same thing. I had to revert back to my goals and listen to something positive.
Positive, right. You back into that positive
I got to
mindset.
get back into that positive mind frame.
Exactly. Or if it was just a bad day the day before, and bad day as well as a perception, by the way. But even if it was a bad day in terms of sales the day before or something like that, you didn't hit a specific goal, whatever the case may be. Whatever it is, just referring back to your goals every single day, that definitely helps.
Now, this is what I do want to ask you, G. Do you have a certain way how you set your goals?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Okay. You want to share?
Well, I talk a little bit about how I even set my goals this year for 2020, and then I talk about what I do on a monthly basis as well. But yeah, in terms of my goals, I actually, for one, my goals are very specific. That's one thing I would say. Some people would say something like, I want to be a millionaire in 2020, or I want to make 6 figures. Okay, 6 figures could be 100,000, it could be 150,000. You see what I'm saying? So I'm very specific, and I'm very specific in terms of time frame of accomplishing that particular goal. So that's one thing I would say. But just to dive in, I set goals around spirituality every single year, right? Specific goals around that in terms of how I want to better myself spiritually. I set different goals around, relationships. It's not necessarily a relationship with a significant other or spouse. I'm just talking about relationships as a whole.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Okay.
Whether that's with family or with friends, business partners, clients, right? Associates, whatever the case may be. So I'm talking about relationships as a whole.
Okay.
If you have a significant other or spouse, though, you may have those type of goals too, or kids or whatever the case may be. I don't have those, so I don't set goals around those right now. But I set goals around that, set goals around health as well. Right, and like I said, they're very specific type of goals. If I'm looking to shed a certain amount of pounds or whatever the case may be, I get very specific on that, right? And not I don't just set the goals too, and I'm jumping a little ahead, but I also set the action steps behind it. Right, so like reverting back to spirituality, if I'm looking to tap more into my spiritual being, what is going to be some of the things I'm going to do? I'm going to have to dive more into the word, based off my faith, right? Be around more people that have the same type of faith with me, go to different Bible studies and things of that nature. Like I said, that's my faith. I'm not on here to promote any type of religious stuff, but I have to come up with those action steps. Or if it's better in relationships, maybe it's me spending a little bit more time with my family throughout the week, right? Designating that time, or designating times on a monthly basis, planning out vacations throughout the year with the family, whatever the case may be, getting very specific on that. And the same thing with health. I may have to cut back on certain foods, exercise a certain amount of times a week and stuff like that. So it's not just setting the goals, it's also the action steps. And then, I may set goals around as well, financial, of course, growing the business, right? And like I say, I won't say I want to be a millionaire in 2020. I want to accumulate $1.3 million in 2020. You see what I'm saying? So it's becoming specific. And then, okay, what's going to be the action steps for that to happen, right? How many customers and clients that we're going to have to get on a weekly basis, a monthly basis to accomplish that particular goal, and what are we going to do to accomplish those customers and clients, onboard them and help them with solving problems through our products and services? How many businesses or how many people are we going to impact this year in 2020 to accomplish these goals? So that's how I go about goal setting. Okay,
I think that's very key, being very specific. Even though, you say a person could say, I want to be a millionaire.
Oh, right. And by you speaking on that, realistic goals too. Okay. Now, I'm not necessarily saying you gotta set these very small goals. I definitely encourage thinking big, right? Thinking big, but at the same time, you still gotta be realistic, right? So if you haven't even did 6 figures yet, you shouldn't be talking about being a millionaire in 2020. That's just my opinion. Now, have some people went on to do it? Yes. Okay, but that's a very small percentage.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
So all right. So this is what I want to hit on that.
Hey, go ahead.
Right. When you talk about realistic or things that you can really do, like if you haven't hit it, so I feel like it's a max goal, and then you have these medium, mid-level goals. So it's like, okay, the max is hitting 6 figures, but then like the action steps. So for example, that's just like a kid going to, they graduate from high school and they go into college. Their main goal at that time is for them to graduate in 4 years. Right. Now, they may not even know what they want to do. So the max goal is graduate in 4 years. Now, when 3 years come around, then they may figure out what they really want to do. So now that max goal that was for to graduate, that comes a mid goal, because now your goals kind of change.
Right. Your goals are a moving target.
It is a moving target.
It's a moving target. Right. It's always a moving target. Once you get to 100,000, all right, let me get to a quarter of a million, $250,000, half a million, and 750 to $1 million, whatever the case may be. Just like you use an example with school. You know what I mean? Like when you first go into college, if you go to college, everybody don't go to college, but let's just say you went to college. Your goal is to get the bachelor's degree. You see what I'm saying? After you get the bachelor's degree, you may go on out to get a job or start a business, or the next goal might be come to get a master's degree.
Right.
But the goal continues to change. Exactly.
Right. So, so definitely think big. Go aim for the big. But just know your action steps to get there. And make sure that also, just like we talked about last week with Kobe.
Right.
Kobe gonna challenge you. Make sure that you put in the necessary work in to actually do what you say that you was gonna do.
Exactly.
Right. So now we about to go into the next session of the podcast, which we're going to talk about our 1%er of the week.
Yes.
All right. Now
1%.
Yes. And every week that we do the 1% of the week, we look for individuals that's really killing it. Yep. All right. That's setting trends out here.
You gotta deserve this.
And just remarkable individuals, and they may not. And I'm gonna tell you, it's gonna be a lot of individuals that you do know or companies that you know.
Right.
And we also gonna find individuals and companies that are setting trends that you may not know of.
Exactly.
All right. So yeah, I just want you to go ahead and just talk about a little bit about the 1%er that we have for the week.
Yeah. So our 1% of this week, this guy here, he comes from Brooklyn, BK. Some people call it Marcy Projects.
Yeah.
Marcy Projects in Brooklyn. And this guy here, he started off, on the street corner, hustling, which some people have to do, or at that particular time, people just do what they do. And he went from there to getting into rap and hip hop. And I would say this guy is more than just a rapper, like he's a poet. He's a true poet at heart. Definitely excellent at his craft. I'd say one of the greatest when it comes to spitting on a mic, MCs. But the thing about him is he's not just in the hip-hop industry. He's also a businessman. Mm-hmm. You may know him of him saying, I'm not just a businessman, I'm a businessman. Right? Because he actually started a company with a couple of other gentlemen. You all may know him. One of them, his name is Kareem Biggs Burt. The other guy's name is Damon Dash. They started a record label that basically got a lot of artists that you may know careers going. Beanie Siegel, Kanye West. I mean, I could just go on and on and on. Am I leaving it? I could go on and on and on. Right. They have several different artists that came from up on the from Dipset. A lot of different artists.
Right.
And
just even for me to add, You know,
Right.
just by you naming all those different artists and individuals that he helped, their careers.
Right.
Every book that I read, everyone talks about how he has some type of impact and he has helped them get to a certain level. Like, even no matter if they signed to him or not, that he actually helped them get to another level, or he was a genuine just individual that they could reach out to. Like, he was really about the team.
Right.
Yep.
Exactly. And I don't want to leave no artists out. Freeway, it's a lot of different artists that were
Right.
signed up under this umbrella. But I would say, you know, he went from that to them launching a clothing brand that, I mean, took the fashion industry by storm. I still got a lot of this particular brand's clothing. Okay, I don't wear it as much as I used to, but I know I shopped with them a whole lot over the years. From there, I mean, basically went on to, you know, getting into the spirits business. Duce, you may know of, Ace of Spades, you may know of, to now, I mean, they're doing the sports. They're in the sports industry. They got the touring company. You may be familiar with Live Nation. To now, I mean, he just went on to start a whole nother empire called Rock Nation. And I mean, they're doing same thing, signing artists, management to a lot of artists you may know, from DJ Khaled, Meek Mill, Fabulous. It's a lot of different people affiliated with them, the Rock Nation movement. They're big right now. Title, all of that. So, like I say, this guy here, he's bigger than just, you know, like I say, hip hop and music. He's an entrepreneur. He's a businessman. He's a husband. He's a father. You know, and not only that, he recently became a billionaire.
Right.
With a B.
Right.
A billionaire. Mm-hmm. Right alongside his famous wife as well. Many of us may know her. Who's definitely, you know, huge as well in terms of the music industry and the mogul as well in that space. So this week's 1%er of the week is none other than JayZ, Shawn Carter. Put it up for home.
So yeah, that was self-explanatory. Once you went through all that, I think everyone knew who you was talking about.
Right.
So what we want to do here now, we just want to play something from Shawn Carter, JayZ, as everyone know. Something that, you know, that's hitting on a little bit what we talking about.
Only two things can get you through this, man. That's patience and persistence. We all aspire, we all have the same emotions. You know, no matter who you are, where you from, we all have the same emotions. You know, we all want to be successful. You know, we all have the same fears of failure. We all have, this feelings of abandonment. We all, want love. Have such a strong belief in yourself that you can quiet out all the outside noise, because you're gonna need that on every step of the way. There are people that are projecting their fears and their shortcomings and failures on you. And you have to be very careful, with that. People telling you can't do that. Why can't I? Because they may have tried, or they don't believe that they can do it. And it's not really about you, it's about what they feel and their fear inside. So you have to be strong enough and resilient to believe in whatever it is you're trying to do. My uncle, he was telling me, like, my uncle said I've never sold 1 million records. I sold 1 million records like 1 million times. Are you crazy? How are you gonna do that? How? I'm sure there's things that I do now that he can't believe that I was able to accomplish. But he couldn't even see it at the time. So he was just projecting, putting his fears on me. That's how we on it. Lock my body, can't trap my mind. Easily explain why we adapt to crime. I'd rather die enormous than live dormant. That's how we on it.
Awesome.
Absolutely. And one thing I got to throw in there too very quickly, because like I say, me naming this artist roster over the years, I can't leave out his main man, Memphis Bleak. That's JayZ's right hand partner over the years. So I had to go back and speak on him because that's like his right hand man.
Right.
Yeah. But definitely that message was very powerful.
Right. And then, you know, like I said, just going back to what I said earlier, it just like no matter if it was Lil Wayne, Rick Ross, just all these moguls, legends in the game, and they look up to him too.
Right.
Like, so it's just like, man, this man like the boss of bosses.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the newer generation, all of them say in a lot of their interviews when they ask who one of their biggest role models in the game, they all mention JayZ to this day. So yeah, huge.
Awesome, man. So, like I said, when y'all listen to it, and you know, you hit on a lot of those key things that we said, especially about belief in the vision, and all that is very important. Going back to your purpose, all right, and then definitely us, like we study these individuals, like because they role models, and then we also have our own personal role models, and then once you have that, now you got this emotion that's inside of you, this burning desire that you'll have to move, and now it's time to implement.
Right.
So now you got to implement it by putting down a plan. All right. And then after that, master the skill.
Right. You gotta master it.
All right. And then once you master the skill, it's about persistence and also about perseverance.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Yep.
So, you know, we're going to go ahead and close out here. You got anything that you want to add?
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, pretty much for all my rise of the 1%ers out there, definitely, if you're looking to get into entrepreneurship or you're already in entrepreneurship business and you're looking to definitely take things to the next level in 2020, I know we talked a lot about goal setting on this podcast. If you're serious about your goals this year and you want to discover a little bit more in depth in terms of the strategies, the techniques to be able to get there, I would definitely recommend you visit www.theriseofthe1%.com, www.theriseofthe1%.com. We have a free training over there that basically, you know, shares some things in terms of what it really takes to dominate, get into the top 1% of your space, especially when it comes to marketing and sales and stuff like that. So that's over there. And also, information on our Rise 1% Marketing Academy is also over there as well. And besides that, I definitely recommend you to actually, you know, give us a 5-star on this podcast if you received a ton of value out of it. And also feel free to share it around with anyone else you feel that could benefit, and subscribe so you can be notified every time we drop the goods. Hit that subscribe button. And that's pretty much all I have to share right this moment. Do you have anything else?
Nah, that's it. Hey, make sure you hit that hammer button.
Hit that hammer button, subscribe. 5-star rating if you're getting value. Give us a 5-star rating. If we deserve it, you're getting value, give us a 5-star rating. And share this around. You know, we want to share this message with as many people as we can across the world. So we ask for you, as we continue to deliver these goods and bring this value, that you help us by spreading the message. And besides that, we definitely look forward to assisting you with rising into the 1%. Have a great day on purpose.